Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However, whenever you're listening, welcome in to Sports with Balls. My name is Jeff Michael. And boy, do we have a good show today. Well, as always, man. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. Absolutely everyone. Let's get up. Let's get going. Not sure if y'all saw the game last night, but we will definitely get into that with Penn State blowing it, if you will. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Notre Dame wins. Lots of stuff there. Lots to unpack there, man. But happy January the 10th. We'll get the show going like we always do with the national freaking holidays of January 10th. Let's see. National Houseplant Appreciation Day. Let's see. National Bittersweet Chocolate. Cut your energy cost. Yeah, right. Oysters Rockefeller. I'm not a huge oyster fan. If you are, good job. Not a fan of it. Save the Eagles. National Shareholders Day, Peculiar People, there you go, and National Quitters Day, which is actually inspiring us not to quit, man, and that is what Notre Dame did not do last night. Let's talk about it. Oh, man. I don't even know what to... this game, you can break it down so many ways. You can break it down a ton of different ways. And it really has to do with Notre Dame sticking around. This game in the first half should have been Penn State 21, Notre Dame 3. That's what it felt like. In the first half. Felt like Penn State dominated. It really did. Defensive battle. Penn State was really like, it looked, they were driving the ball well. Notre Dame couldn't get a lot going. Their defense, Penn State's defense was great. Man, Notre Dame just sticking around that whole freaking game. I just the ill-fated interception by Penn State's quarterback Drew Aller, just absolutely brutal at the end of that game. 1 minute left, you throw a pick. He said after the game he should have thrown it away. The pass should have been there. It was just a bad pass. And then for me, that's a big moment, and he did let his team down. He did. He let his team down. You get all the way there. He's kind of being hit from the left-hand side, and he lets it go. Should have just thrown that ball away. It's your season. It's your national championship. During the broadcast, they were talking about Drew Aller being a first-round pick, maybe even a first pick for some teams as quarterback. That just went out the window. Honestly, it did. And you want to know why again? There were 0 receptions by wide receivers for Penn State. 0. No receptions by a wide receiver for Penn State. What in the you-know-what is that? How does that happen? The game before the national championship. I get it. You're not necessarily a wide receiver-heavy team, and you depend a lot on one player. But, man, no receptions? I don't even know if there was an attempt to a wide receiver. Whose fault is this? If you're Penn State, that is brutal. I don't know how. There was an attempt, obviously, that last one for the interception. There you go. There's your one attempt. Your one attempt to a wide receiver got picked off. So during the broadcast, they're talking about Drew Aller, quarterback for Penn State, being a first-round pick, number one for some teams as a quarterback. He's 20-year-old, folks. The issue is here. If you're Drew Aller's agent, or if you're parents, or if you're him and you're thinking about going to the NFL draft, well, now, if you would have you make that throw, you get a first down, you go down there, you win, you take your team to the national championship, it's a no-brainer. You're going to the draft, and you're going to go to the NFL. No-brainer. Now, because you threw an interception with 1 minute left to go in the Orange Bowl, you may come back. You may come back now. If I'm Penn State, obviously you hope he does. He completed 71.6% of his passes during the regular season. He only threw 13 times in the Big Ten title game, by the way, for 135 yards. They were talking about him, he's got all the mechanics and he's the perfect size and this, that, and this. And I'm like, You don't throw to a wide receiver? 0 receptions and 0 yards for wide receivers in the Orange Bowl for Penn State. That is mind-blowing. Absolutely uncalled for and mind-blowing. On the flip side, Notre Dame, man, they just find a freaking way to win ball games. It's unbelievable. I think they lost to Illinois State, and now they've won 12 in a row. If you're talking about the matchup coming, we'll talk about Texas and Ohio State here in a minute. But I saw a bunch of posts talking about Notre Dame is going to be overwhelmed and probably 6+ point underdog coming into the national championship game. I couldn't agree more. But the thing is with Notre Dame, they just find a freaking way to get it done. I don't know how. Penn State allowed them to stick around and win this ballgame. The fourth quarter was absolutely insane in this game. There were, I think they each scored. What they scored, both of those teams in the fourth quarter. At one point, it was 14-14 in the fourth, 17-14. Man, it was 10-10 after the third quarter, and the game ended up 27-24 Notre Dame. Leonard for Notre Dame, their quarterback, 15-23, 223 yards, 1 touchdown. Singleton, the running back for Penn State, 3 touchdowns, 84 yards, 15 carries. But it was Greenhouse, 7 receptions, 105 yards. By the way, that 54-yard touchdown pass to Greenhouse was the longest touchdown reception of the year for Notre Dame. 54 yards. Wow, this was a game of moments, and there was 2 of them in this game that were, I'll say 3, because of the field goal at the end. Number 1, the Greenhouse touchdown, 54 yards, huge. Up until then, Notre Dame was pretty flat. The other moment was Drew Allar's interception. That was, there's 1 minute to go. You can't throw that. You gave him the ball on the 40-yard line. Game over. And then obviously the kicker, which is a great story, a fantastic story for Notre Dame's kicker and his dad in the stands. It was, there's something always happens in games like these, man. It just, that's why we love football. It's this exact reason, man. That kicker, I think he's a sophomore, living for moments like this, and his dad couldn't have been happier for him in the stands. That's what makes these sports unbelievable. It was fantastic to watch. It was a good football game. It wasn't a great football game. If you're a Notre Dame fan, I'm sure it was great. If you're Penn State, it was one of the worst games ever. Penn State looked like it dominated this game. And then, of course, as always, for this season, it just seems like Notre Dame finds a way. I don't know how else to put it. Notre Dame had 2 or 3 incredible catches up the sideline, back shoulder passes where the defender even had his hand on the ball and the tight end or wide receiver caught it. It was a game of 2 or 3 moments, and Notre Dame had the bigger moments. The interception, the field goal, the 54-yard pass. That's pretty much it. Penn State missed opportunities. They should have put more points on the board in the first half. At halftime, it was 10-3. And it felt like it should have been 21-3. It felt like Penn State should have dominated that game and put some more points up. They did not, and they lose by 3 to the Fighting Irish with 7 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. They kick a field goal, game over. That's it. It was a good football game. Leonard, I already gave his stats. Drew Aller, 12 of 23, 135, and 1 pick, which was absolutely brutal. Penn State, we already said, no receptions by wide receivers, but Mr. Warren, their go-to man, number 44, 6 receptions, 75 yards. I didn't watch who got the MVP of that game. I'd give it to the kicker. At one point during this game, the win probability at the start of the fourth quarter, I believe, was 89.6% for Penn State, and they absolutely just, I don't know. If you're a Penn State fan, let me know. Whose fault is this? Is this the quarterback's fault? Is this offensive coordinator's fault? Is this defense fault? Let me know. Hit me up on social media. Go to Sports with Balls on all of your social media outlets. we've got another incredible football game tonight, and I will be over at Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill. Go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. The place is phenomenal. We've got 5 straight days of incredible playoff football, college and NFL. It's going to be unbelievable, starting yesterday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Get over to christianstailgate.com. Find a Christian's Tailgate near you. Also, legal troubles. You getting a wreck? You got something to deal with? Call 713-864-9000. That's Thiessen Law Firm, thetexastrialattorney.com. Mark Thiessen will take care of you over there. Also, we see the stuff that's going on in California, fire, water, mold, roofing. Butler CCS Incorporated. Just give him a call, man. Wes Butler over at Butler CCS INC. Check him out on all your social media. The guy will take care of you. Speaking of California, course, people over there. Hope you guys are better and it looks like we're returning to a little bit of normalcy back in California. Hopefully, because I did see that next week it will be a little bit more windy. So let's hope you guys can get those fires under control and start getting the lives back together. All right, another football game tonight. I cannot wait, obviously, hence my shirt for this football game. You have got the University of Texas taking on Ohio State in Arlington. By the way, if you are driving to this game, be careful. I know it snowed there last night. It's sleeting right now, and the roads will freeze up overnight tonight. So be careful if you are driving to this game. If you're having technical difficulties with the live feed, I'm sorry. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but the podcast will be up directly after this if you're missing anything. All right, Texas is 6-point underdog. Give me Texas all day long. I know Ohio State's been dominant lately. They look like the national championship. They're favored by Vegas to be the national championship. Will Howard, they're a good football team. I do. I think they're a good football team. Are they great? They're 12-2. Texas 13-2. I see Texas winning this game. And a close football game. I would love for it to be somewhat like last night. We'll see. And are we going to see Arch Manning? Are we going to see Arch Manning in this game? We didn't see much of him. We saw Steve Sarkisian talk about how he usually implements them inside the 20s, right? But we see Steve Sarkisian talk about Quinn Ewers being the quintessential college quarterback. And he loves Quinn Ewers. And speaking of Quinn Ewers, is he going to go somewhere else? Is he going to enter the NFL draft? We don't know yet. I know he does have like a $6 million offer or something like that. The NIL is absolutely insane now. By the way, I think Texas led with $22.7 million given out in the NIL. Wow. Anyways, tonight, number 5 Texas takes on Ohio State. Who you got? Who do you have in this football game? Who's going to dominate this football game? It's a toss-up to me, and that's why I like Texas plus the 6. OSU could win this game, but I don't think they're blowing Texas out, especially not in Arlington. That's 2.5 hours away from Austin. Now, again, travel is difficult right now, and the matchup predictor is 50-50. So if you're giving me 6 points and the team with a better record and the team with a higher seed, I'm taking Texas all day long. All right, I'm not saying Ohio State's going to lose the football game, but I'm saying Texas isn't losing by 6. And I like Texas plus 6. Now, if you're feeling frisky, take Texas money line, parlay it with some other stuff. You know, it is what it is. The only game that Texas has lost was a 22-19 overtime loss to Georgia 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. Georgia's a good football team. I'm not saying the only game I'm talking about in the last 5. Ohio State, of course, lost to Michigan. They beat Oregon. They absolutely stomped Oregon. Before that, they stomped Tennessee. That's why you have that 6-point favorite. Arizona State gave Texas a hell of a game. Arizona State deserved to be there. They did. They proved that. I think if Arizona State played Ohio State, that wouldn't have been a blowout. Not at all. I think Texas is going to hang. I think this is going to be a good football game. What's the over-under here, man? The over-under in this game, 53.5. Give me the over. Give me a shootout. Last night's game wasn't a shootout till the fourth quarter. Tonight's game, give me a shootout. I'm excited to watch this. I will be over at Christian's Tailgate. What is it, 6:30 p.m.? I got to play some pickleball today before I get over there. Shout out to my boy Tom over there at Villa Sport. I'll see you in about 45 minutes. He's a good pickleball player. He's been teaching me a lot, man, over there where we work out every morning. By the way, guys, if you haven't played pickleball and you're looking to get back in shape, that's the way to do it. We're speaking college football. Tom wanted me to jump on it. So, of course, the game last night. I'll talk more on Monday. I probably won't do a show over the weekend, but we'll get into this University of Texas, Ohio State game. And then, of course, the national championship game on Monday morning. Quinn Ewers on the season, by the way. 270 and 406, 3,190 yards, 29-11. And if you want to match that up with Will Howard, he's about 3,500 yards, 32-9. 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions compared to 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. These guys are right on target. If you go to the rushing yards and the rushing yards for each team, they're almost identical. Henderson's got 930. Wisner's got 1,000. I mean, it's right there. If you go to receiving yards, Smith for Ohio State's got 1,200. Golden for Texas got 950. I'm just, these teams are evenly matched up. The 6-point spread, give me the 6 plus the Longhorns, or the +6 and the Longhorns. I think Texas is going to hang. This should be a fun game. I understand where the Ohio State Buckeye fan is really getting after the last 2 games. Steve Sarkisian is not an idiot. This is going to be an interesting game. And all you guys that were jumping down Ryan Day's throat, Ohio State fan, I'm talking to you. Where are you at now? You want him fired? You want him gone? Is that the deal? You still want him out of there? That's wild to me. He lost to Michigan. And here we go. Is he fired after this game? If Texas manhandles Ohio State, is he gone? Because he lost to Michigan, and then he'll lose to Texas the game before the national championship. We'll answer all those questions on Monday. Have fun tonight watching the game, guys. And let's get into now some NFL. Woo! Huge games coming up. One of them tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 here in Houston, Texas. The Chargers are -3 still. In a game that most people think the Chargers are absolutely going to dominate. They are a massively competitive team in the red zone. The Texans have issues in the red zone. This is one of the reasons this is a -3 spread. I like the Chargers in this game. Sorry, Texans fan. The defense for the Chargers is phenomenal. They're really good. Texans have been struggling on offense. They have one quality win this year. That was a Buffalo game, where I think a lot of the Buffalo Bills players were hurt, but that's their only quality win. The Chargers, 11-6, 6-3 away. I like them in this game. 7 p.m. Steelers at the Ravens. This spread is now 9.5. 9.5 in Baltimore. Give me the Steelers plus a 9.5. I think the Ravens win. I get it. Lamar Jackson is playing out of his mind. 41 touchdowns, 4 picks. Way better than his MVP season last year. But this isn't a situation where Russell Wilson is going to back down. Pickens is going to have a decent game. I think the Steelers hang with them. I don't know if the Steelers win. I wouldn't pick them money line, but you're going to give me 9.5 points in a brutal rivalry. Give me the Steelers plus a 9.5. Broncos and Bills on Sunday. Nice matchup. I said this before. Broncos playing with house money. It's Buffalo -9. A scary situation here for Buffalo. Be careful, Buffalo. Be careful. We've seen them get knocked out in the first round before. Just be careful, Broncos. Whenever you play a team that just has nothing to lose and not really supposed to be there, and having a blast, be careful. Sean Payton led Broncos. They're not going to back down. It's Buffalo -9. Denver's got a good defense. Give me the +9. Man, I'm taking Steelers +9.5. I'm taking Broncos +9. Chargers -3. Packers and the Eagles, I'm going to leave that game alone. And the reason being, I don't know the deal with Jordan Love's elbow. I know they said he was full participant, but I also know it's hurting. He gets hit one time, that game's over. Now, I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts, this line has moved to Philadelphia -5. I talked about this on Wednesday. Jalen Hurts is going to play in this game, and that's why it's moved up half a point. I believe it'll go to -5.5, but right now it's at -5. And I think Philadelphia at home, good football game, but I like Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia in this game. I'm not going to bet this one because I don't know. Packers lost Watson. That is their number one wide receiver. You've got an injured quarterback. If Philadelphia's at home, they're 8-1 at home. It's just the cards are stacked against the Packers. Good job getting there. Packers are a great team, but you got to stay healthy. Then this is awesome that they saved the Commanders and Buccaneers game for Sunday night. This is going to be a fantastic football game. It is 56 degrees in Florida, in Tampa Bay, where Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels, will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, who's thrown 41 touchdowns this season and thrown for 4,500 yards. Obviously, the best season of his career. The over-under is 50.5. Oh, I love this football game. I absolutely love this football game. Cannot wait to watch it. Sometimes you go through and these playoff games, you're worn out. I'm looking forward to the Commanders-Buccaneers Sunday night. I'm really looking forward to that game. It's Tampa Bay -3. Ooh, the Bucs are such a wishy-washy team. Give me Washington, man. I think Baker's awesome. It's been a great year. I absolutely, Mike Evans is just on another level. Terry McLaurin is on another level. And Mike Evans. I think Jaden Daniels pulls it off, dude. I do. Do you know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 2 1,000-yard receivers? Terry McLaurin and Mike Evans. Damn, Baker. Baker was balling. That's a rough game, man. I might not put that in a parlay. I might leave that one alone just because I want to have a blast watching it. Oh, man. What a fun game. What a fun game. We'll talk about Monday night's football game when Monday night shows up. All right, some top stories coming around the league. Obviously, Penn State wins the game. Their defensive end, Carter, is entering the NFL draft. Not obviously. I don't know about their quarterback that Drew Aller that threw the interception. I talked about that earlier in the show. There's an NFL game in London this year, and it looks like there's 3 of them, but the Browns, Jets, and Jags are all set to play in the United Kingdom this year. Listen to this, folks. I'm going to say that again. The Browns, the Jets, and the Jaguars. They're all set to play in the I'm sorry. London, I'm sorry. As an NFL fan and as a sports fan in general, I'm sorry. Like, why? Why? What the hell are you doing, NFL? Browns, Jets, and Jags? My gosh. Speaking of the Browns, let's talk about this for a second. If I'm correct, the Browns have number 2. First of all, the Tennessee's number 1. We're going to go to the NFL draft. I just want to touch on this before we go. Titans are number 1. Browns are number 2. Giants number 3. And then Patriots number 4. The NFL draft, the order's set. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter will not be at the draft. They have already said this. They are hosting a party in Boulder, and they will not be at the draft. I don't know what Tennessee's going to do. And I don't know if Tennessee drafts Shedeur Sanders if Dion blocks that. This is going to be very, very interesting. Number two, Cleveland Browns, who had one of the worst contracts in NFL history with Deshaun Watson, who has now had a setback in his surgery. Of course he has. And is now going to miss the entire 2025 season. You have to draft a quarterback, because obviously you're going to get a 3-year contract and it's free money almost. Not free money, but free play. And are you going to take Cam Ward at number 2? Is that where Cam Ward is going? You pass up Travis Hunter. Cleveland has got a very, very interesting pick right now. Shedeur Sanders should go number 1 to Tennessee. I don't know. What if Deion blocks that? Because you've got the Giants waiting at number 3, and that is exactly where Shedeur wants to play, there and or Vegas. The draft is going to be a lot of fun. I think Cleveland's very interesting because of the Deshaun Watson situation, and you have to get a quarterback. You just have to, man. You cannot depend on Watson. We already know that you had the worst contract signing in NFL history. You just got to move past that. This may be the end for Deshaun Watson. He's had a setback in his surgery. It looks like he is going to miss half, if not most, of the 2025 season. I'm sorry, Brown fan. You're about to have another rookie quarterback, another quarterback behind center. It's just been a brutal run. Cleveland deserves a quarterback, man. Give him a QB, somebody. So Tennessee and Cleveland both looking for quarterbacks. I don't think Will Levis in Tennessee is the future. I know they had high hopes for him this year. Didn't work out that way. The Giants, of course, quarterback, right? So which one of these 3 teams is going to take Shedeur Sanders and or Cam Ward? Now, that being said, there's a lot of things that happen before the draft where they do all these tests and stuff like that. Somebody will shoot up the board, and who knows? Who knows by then? Then you got the Patriots at number 4. Jacksonville Jaguars at number 5. This draft is for the first time in a long time, very interesting. And then if you scoot down to number 6 and 7, the Raiders who have cleaned house now, fired the GM, fired the head coach. Tom Brady's in. By the way, heard yesterday, Tom Brady will skip being a Fox broadcaster after he does the Super Bowl this year and will move into full-time Raiders ownership. That is the word on the street, that Tom Brady is a one and done in the booth, which makes a lot of sense. It really does. And he will be hands-on, which he is now. Look, they got rid of the GM. Tom Brady's going to find one. Got rid of the head coach. Tom Brady's going to find one. They have the number 6 pick in the draft. They will go after a quarterback, or they'll try to move up. I don't know. This is going to be very fun. This is going to be a blast because the Raiders want Sanders. Shedeur Sanders wants to go to Las Vegas more than any other destination. Now, he'll take the Giants, but he really wants to get in there in Vegas. And Tom Brady, by the way, has been coaching Shedeur Sanders since he was like 12 years old. So if I'm a betting man, I'm taking the Raiders to move up. They'll get Shedeur Sanders, and that'll be all history. But again, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter will not be at the draft. They are hosting a party in Boulder. The Jets have the number 7 pick. Of course, they're going to try to get a QB too. Golly. Quarterback. Oh, we're going to have to rank these quarterbacks soon. We'll get to all that later on. All right, guys, want to thank a couple of people. Number 1, Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill. Amazing place. Incredible football games tonight at 6:30, Texas and Ohio State. Get over there. Go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. Mark Thiessen at Thiessen Law Firm, TheTexasTrialAttorney.com, 713-864-9000. Wes Butler over at Butler CCS Incorporated. Fire, water, mold, roofing, you name it. Get over there. Be careful if you're driving to the Cotton Bowl tonight. Be careful. It is wet roads, slick roads. It's going to be a blast, though. Cannot wait. You guys have fun this weekend. My name is Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. We'll talk to you Monday.